new samples, see if there's anything floating about. That's cool. So we can use that for sure. That's sort of a sound I'm wanting to go for. I quite like that sound. We may be able to like process it in a sampler and get sort of what I'm trying to achieve out of it. You'll be seeing that I'm using quite a lot of samples. It will vary from track to track. Sometimes I'll sit here and I'll make everything in a VST. Sometimes I'll find the presets that I'm looking for. And then sometimes I'll just come across the right samples like I have in this project. Just, you want to utilize all your tools available to create the best tracks possible. Do not limit yourself to just being a hardware guy or just being a serum know it all. Like, use everything to your advantage. So let's move on with what I actually intended to do, which was play around with some of these synths. So there's some cool bits in there. Okay, let's start with this one. So we're going to put him on a MIDI channel, dragging down into the simpler. Whoops. And we're going to find one hit we like. Maybe this one. I like that one. Feels like there's a bit more we can do with it. So I'm going to bring up the attack. I'm going to do it so I can just hear the sound. Start bringing it down. I'm going to bring the release all the way up. So we let it play all the way out. And then we're going to go into controls. And we're going to play around with the filter. So I'm not picking up anything like I like the sound of, but we may be able to like create an envelope. Maybe add a bit of an LFO, so bring that back down. So I still want a bit of front to the sound, so it's still coming through, we'll still cut through the mix. So I don't think it's doing a bit too much on the pitch. Just bring it up slightly. And then we can put the repeat section on Ableton push, see if we can get some maybe not. So what we're going to do to try and make sure this is in the right key is we're going to look and go, it is in A. So C3 on the keyboard rack is its original pitch. So if the original pitch is in A, so let's just find A for reference, A, and we are working in a scale of F minor, so we need to check to see if A is in the key, or in the scale, should I say. So it's not. So we need to go down one, or up one, to then be in the correct scale. So if I went down to A sharp, or A flat, I think it's called, then we would be in the correct key of our track. And it's easy as that. Sometimes it can get a bit more confusing if it's in a scale, but this one's just in the key of A. So cool, so let's see if we can get some more sounds out of this. So we're going to go and put H delay on it, because this one has some really cool like modulation presets. That's pretty. I'm gonna find like another effect. Maybe go to the modulation part. That's pretty cool. So I like what that's doing. I've just got rid of that again. And I'm going to put a stock Ableton one on it, because I can add reverb straight through it. Re-record that in. Again, I'm probably going to let this be less frequent than 2 bars. Same with this whistle, but it's just an idea of how I can then utilize this sound. There's multiple ways I can do it, but that one's sounding quite cool. It's got that dubbed out effect that I want. So that was this sound here, wasn't it? Yeah. So we've completely transformed that from like an organ to this echoey, dubbed out sort of synth. So let's open a MIDI channel. And then we're going to do the same again. We're going to put this one, whoops. We're going to put this one on the MIDI channel. So that's in C sharp. So let's try and do the same again. So let's find a C note, one above it. So I think that's actually in key. So that part is pretty cool. So we might be able to like walk that in the breakdowns. Put him just silent so we can hear what we're doing. Change him to 16. Could even change that. That's quite cool. Let's just try this end bit. Just looking at the waveform, I quite like the look of that. Let's just play the track, see what that sounds like. Let's just see if we can get the effect I want by adding some plugins. Maybe let's just play around with this, see what we can get. Quite cool. Further that. That's cool on the 32 note. Try and change the transpose maybe. Down one. Even where he is. Let's try Tantra, see what we can get. That's quite nice. Let's get past these glitchy ones. I'm not going to waste too much time just flicking through different ones when I thought that one was really nice. Let me just change the module. to whichever one it was originally on. So it's quite nice that. So I've kept the original sample, I think. Yeah, so we might try and muck around with this in audio, see if we can get some cool effects. What one was this? So that's quite nice, just like a nice little stutter. So that one needs to be on the offbeat. So it's like and he just needs to be 4 bars. There we go. See if we can get some cool effects with this one. So just for the sake of trying to make something, we're going to use the effect rack this time, I think. And then I'm going to start it by running it through an Echo Boy. And let's just go to reverbs and spaces. Let's have a go. So I liked that first one. It's MIDI syncing. And then let's run it through a phaser. So that's cool on that like little end effect. So then this tremolator is now sort of creating like a rhythmic duck on the 16th note. And then we can always maybe try like a filter freak. That's cool how it's got that sort of almost like pitch modulation now. Let's just sync him to the MIDI in the groove. Let's just bring him back so he's in roughly the right sort of placement. So because of where the frequency lands, it sort of seems to get a bit lost. So let's see if we can bring up some of the harmonics using a saturator. So you can hear it now. I'd still like it to have some more presence, but I can figure that out when I get to the mix down. It might be even a case of maybe seeing if a different sound would work. that's got more presence now. I'm thinking that one needs to be more there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to resample this one again. So I'm going to duplicate them over. I'm going to turn off the effect rack. So what I want to do is, again, I'm thinking about that reference track, and it had that sort of wobbly synth sound, so it sort of went up and down in pitch, which I feel like I can recreate or get a cool version of it using this sample. So we are going to go into the keyboard rack and find the first note, just here, and we're going to go up the scale. And then every time we like the sound that we're looking for, which is similar to that, we're then going to keep a note on there and deactivate it and then fold it all. So it'll look a bit like this. So then deactivate, Command C, Command V. Command C, Command V. There we go. So now that's everything through the scale. We can go fold. So now all of these are that sort of similar sound to that one. So then we can just let it play. So if we press play and go, just go duplicate 2 bars. Oh, we don't want it activated. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play in where I want this effect to happen. So I think I want it around here. So then let's try and create what I'm after. That's pretty much it. So now we had this going into the other one that we made in the drum section. And we could even maybe try it here and try like a different version. There, so now we've got like 2 we can almost make out of 1 sound. In fact, I think that's 3, isn't it? No, 2. So, no, that is 2. So from 1 loop, we have now created 3 different noises, or synths if you like to call it. So now we're really starting to fill out this group. So the synths aren't in the right placement, in the right groove. I'm going to do that as I go along. That's just how I find easiest to arrange. But now I can really start to get an idea of like how the track's going to come together. It's got a real nice sort of dubbed out feeling I want, but it still feels like my own, especially by the time we add in some more of these like modular knocks and stuff like that. So we're really starting to fill out this track now. I think the only thing that is left to find is a vocal, so we will do that on the next episode. And there we have it. That is Friday's episode of this Track from Scratch series done. I believe there's loads of little decent hidden gems in there. Using samples is a great way to work as long as you're using them in a creative manner and manipulating them so they sound different to how they were before. You can still use the original samples, but remember, there's many other producers out there and they're going to be able to hear that you're just using the same samples as everyone else. So it's always a good idea to use the simpler and effects to create something unique. I'll see you on Tuesday when we will look at vocals and starting to arrange the track. So I'll see you then.